All right. We will go ahead and get started. I want to thank each and every one of the members of media for being here today. It's been a very busy week here in Cherokee County, and we've just finished up Operation Crossroads. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office Community Action Team, known as the CAT, and the narcotics officers, along with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, Cherokee County SWAT Team, the Cherokee County Detention Center, the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, Spartanburg County SWAT Team, along with the United States Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, and Border Enforcement Security Task Force, the United States Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, along with the United States Postal Inspectors, have been working together for more than 1 year to target drug suppliers here in Cherokee County and the surrounding areas in an operation known as Operation Crossroads. On Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., all the agencies involved executed 10 search warrants simultaneously throughout Cherokee County, targeting individuals who have been major suppliers of illegal narcotics in Cherokee County and the surrounding area. This operation targeted individuals moving large quantities of drugs into our community from all over the country. The investigation also revealed that the organization was utilizing numerous parcel delivery services, a common practice utilized by drug traffickers to smuggle illegal drugs into our community and the surrounding area for eventual distribution. As of today, this investigation is still ongoing and remains very active. This operation resulted in 12 suspects being arrested and charged with distribution of marijuana in our community as part of Operation Crossroads. This operation also resulted in the seizure of the following: close to 30 pounds of marijuana, methamphetamine, and assorted pills, 11 handguns, 9 rifles and shotguns, with several of those being semi-automatic assault rifles. We also recovered 2 stolen weapons. We seized cash totaling $66,376, along with 5 motor vehicles. All 12 suspects' pictures are posted to my right, along with the vehicles that were seized in this operation. And I just want this community to know that this operation certainly will slow the drug trade in our community, but this is a warning to the dealers, the traffickers, the suppliers, the users. Let us be very clear. Our officers are already working with our law enforcement partners that was mentioned at the beginning on a new operation to rid our streets of persons who sell and push this poison in our community. Investigators have interviewed each arrested suspect and were able to gather even more information and intelligence from the arrested suspects to help us identify other possible drug dealers and traffickers in the community. Our officers will always be relentless in their pursuit of those who push poison in our community. The Cherokee County Community Action Team and the Sheriff's Office deputies work tirelessly each day with a tremendous amount of passion and drive to clean up our streets and neighborhoods of illegal drug activity. Over the past 9.5 years, the men and women of the Sheriff's Office have made almost 4,000 drug arrests, an average of 400 drug arrests each year in a county our size, with a narcotics team that usually consists of 5 to 6 men. We could not be successful if it was not for the partnerships with all the agencies that was mentioned at the start of the press conference. That allows us to do even more work and greater work as we partner together. Our officers are truly dedicated to making a difference in our community, and we appreciate all the concerned citizens who provide us tips on a regular basis, helping us rid the streets of this poison. Together, I want you to know we are making a difference. Our success depends on the watchful eyes of our citizens in our communities, and we appreciate your calls with tips and information about any possible illegal activity. And again, this is a message for those out in our community that are known as drug dealers. You should always wonder if you're going to be a target in the next roundup, because our officers will be coming after you. I want to thank all the citizens who continue to notify us of illegal activity, our officers who are diligently working every day to respond to your complaints and investigate those tips that you provide us. Working together, we will make our streets safer and our neighborhoods safer. In closing, I want to thank all the officers who were involved in this operation. I want to thank them for a job well done. As I said in the beginning, 10 homes hit simultaneously. For an agency our size, that would not be possible if it was not for the partnerships of all the agencies involved. And it was a huge undertaking, and we're proud of the efforts of all those involved. I cannot thank all the officers and the agencies that were mentioned involved enough for their dedication and commitment to make a difference here in our community and this general area, because we know those drugs were not solely destined just for Cherokee County. They're helping rid our streets of anyone selling narcotics in our community. community. We've done the first part of our job. That's to investigate, identify, and take down the drug dealers, and now we'll work very closely with our prosecutors to get these individuals sent off to prison, hopefully for a lengthy time. Remember, you can remain anonymous. You can call Crime Stoppers at 188-CRIME-SC to report any illegal activity. Citizens also can take advantage of an email, cattip@CherokeeCountySheriff.net. That's cattip@CherokeeCountySheriff.net to share information about any illegal activity in our community so it can be properly vetted and investigated by our officers. To our citizens, I want you to know, on Tuesday morning, I woke up and was here with our men and women and all of our partners starting this operation at 4:15 in the morning. The planning, the preparation, the work it went into it was first class. Our relationships with our partners, again, was first class. And we are proud of the work. Glad to get these drugs off the streets. Many of you heard yesterday from Sheriff Wright in Spartanburg as they completed Operation Groundhog. There's a lot of those suspects in Spartanburg that are from Cherokee. One of our largest meth suppliers was picked up in that roundup yesterday. So law enforcement will not stop at county lines and state lines. We will expand our reach by continuing to work with our partners on a regular basis to make sure that the bad guys don't take advantage of borders and jurisdictional boundaries. And so again, I want to thank all of them. And at this time, I'm going to introduce a special agent in charge, Ronnie Martinez, and he'll make some comments as well. And then I'll take any questions at the end. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Sheriff. Echoing the Sheriff's comments on this operation, none of this would be successful without the partnerships. I want to thank the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mueller, our state and local partners, federal partners on these types of operations that are conducted around the country, that without the partnerships, none of these would be successful. It's the authorities and the expertise of these different agencies that come together that make these operations successful. So this is a perfect example of how great relationships in law enforcement community, when they come together, serve to protect the community and the citizens of this community, and overall taking criminals off the street. And so I want to thank everybody, all the men and women that are involved in this successful operation. We got a lot more work to do, but I'm happy and I'm very glad that we're able to bring these resources together and protect our community. So I just want to say that, and on behalf of Homeland Security Investigations, without our local partners, none of this is able to happen. So I want to thank you all. Sheriff.
Sir. Again, I'm going to wrap up before I do the Q&A. I do want to send one additional message out. You ever watched a good movie and then at the end it's like a cliffhanger and it says to be continued? I want the bad guys to know in the community, this is just the first version. This is to be continued. There will be additional roundups coming in the next few months between now and the end of the year. And so again, you need to question your motives, and do I need to continue in this practice, or do I need to get out here and get a real job and support my family through a lawful and legal means versus continuing to push poison on our streets, because we're coming for round 2 and we're coming after a lot more folks. So thank you.
Sheriff, I see that all first offenders on here, so how are you guys able to gather the evidence to get the search warrant?
Won't get into the specifics of the investigation, but I'll tell you a lot of time spent in surveillance, and I'll leave it at that, because again, this is ongoing investigation, and these arrests certainly will spin off into other arrests. So we don't give up those tactics, but a lot of work and surveillance is part of it.
Were these mostly dealers?
These here, I would tell you, are suppliers. These are the bigger fish that are bringing the drugs in larger quantities and pushing it out for distribution, not only in Cherokee County, but throughout the upstate and even across the line into North Carolina.
why is that so important to get those types of folks off the streets?
Well, they're the ones that are supplying the dealers. We can leave here with a news crew and go to a street corner, and we can catch that street level guy. But as soon as you take him down, it's kind of like cockroaches. There's another one going to run out and take his place. And when you get the suppliers, you begin to impact that chain. And so we want to go after those big fish, and we're going to get the little fish too. But our goal is to knock off those big targets. And this here is a clear example of some of the large targets.
Was this group all in the same network?
I would say they all knew each other, but not necessarily all commingled together. Maybe one knew 2 or 3, and one knew 2 or 3, but they were all part of this investigation, and those drugs that were coming in were being distributed amongst this group to be pushed out to other local dealers.
What advantages do you get out of having Homeland Security investigations part of this? You get federal charges? What's the advantage of having them part of that?
Well, number one, we have jurisdictional boundaries. So anything happening across the line in North Carolina, which we border 2 North Carolina counties, we're surrounded by Union, York, and Spartanburg counties, then we have to work with all these different agencies. The partnerships with the federal agencies allows those guys to really go and dig even deeper and pursue beyond jurisdictional boundaries. And so again, it's very, very important that we have those relationships and those partnerships, because the bad guys don't stop at a city limit sign or a state line sign or a county sign. And so a lot of people are in the mindset, well, I'm out of Cherokee, they can't touch us, they can't do anything. With these partnerships with federal agencies and with our mutual aid agreements with Spartanburg, Union, and York, we just continue our work. And the men and women in all the agencies, from our federal partners to our local agencies that are involved, from Gaffney City, who's part of the CAT team, to Spartanburg County, Union, York, our men and women are just still going to be relentless. They're going to go after the bad guys.
Operation Groundhog, which I believe you guys were helpful in that yesterday, Spartanburg County Sheriff Chuck Wright, 55 pounds of methamphetamine off the streets. Is this week kind of showing the drug dealers that you guys are sending a serious signal?
Absolutely. I mean, again, there was more than just marijuana in this case here. And as we talked about, even in Spartanburg, one of our biggest headaches was in that roundup over there, as far as pushing meth in our community. And so we know that you just don't sell one type of drug. These guys don't just exclusively sell marijuana. They will sell any illegal narcotic that they can get their hands on, whether it's pills, whether it's meth, heroin, whatever it may be. They're not exclusively selling one product.
You mentioned that they were bringing some of these products in by parcel service. Can you go in a little bit more detail of what you know about that, what you can share?
I'll be very limited on that part, other than to tell you that they did utilize the common carriers, FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service, but due to the ongoing investigation, we won't release any additional information on that at this time.
Are these addresses the houses that were...
Some of the suspects lived at those houses, but there's obviously 12 suspects on there, but all those addresses were not the 10 locations that were hit with a search warrant. What you have a lot of times is somebody is living with a girlfriend, or they go to the girlfriend's house and do transactions, and they may be living somewhere else, and so the search warrant may be for her location. And so it's, like I said, there's no direct correlation in the 10 places that we hit compared to the 12 people. Some of them were the same, but some are not.
There's 13 that are board here.
Yes, there's 13 that's on the board. The 13th person was not arrested. They were only given a citation for simple possession of marijuana.
That's what I want to make sure.
Yes,
Make
sir.
sure there wasn't somebody there once.
That's right. Thank you, Kevin. But yeah, she only received a citation, so we did not list her on here as being arrested.
Sheriff, what's the effect a bust like this has on the drug trade here in Cherokee County?
Obviously, it's going to slow it down. We know, again, it's not going to stop it, but it has a domino effect. And many of you have come to press conferences. You've heard me say this before. This not only has an impact on the drug trafficking that's taking place in our community and the surrounding areas, but it impacts other things. A lot of your folks that are the users, the end users of the product that's being distributed, most of those folks are unemployed. They don't have a job to get money, so they commit other crimes to sustain their drug habits. So this will impact our larcenies, our burglaries. We'll see those numbers go down for a period of time. Every time we do a drug roundup, we see those numbers plummet for a period of time. When they can't readily get those narcotics and feed their addiction, they're not out stealing from our citizens. And so again, it helps in many areas, not only slowing the drug traffic down, but it helps us in other crimes that are being committed in our community. Anything else?
If you could say and spell first and last name and your title, please.
Yes, Ronnie Martinez, R-O-N-N-I-E, M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z, and my title is Special Agent in Charge for the HSI Homeland Security Investigations Charlotte office. We cover both North and South Carolina.
Is that it, gentlemen? Thank y'all as always. Appreciate it very much.
Do you have any photos of the drugs you can send us, or is that?
We did not photograph everything and put it out here on display. So we're a little bit smaller and limited number of manpower, and so once we brought everything in on Tuesday, we quickly packaged everything up and sealed it in evidence boxes and put it in the evidence. And some of the evidence is not even here now. It has went with some of our federal partners as well.
Will there be any federal charges at all?
It's
Right now, it's an ongoing investigation, and so we'll see what develops.
Cool, thanks.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for riding up here today. I'll use my card here in just a moment. I can get some.
I'm still getting my book. Give me a call, I'll email you. Okay. And what I like to do is just, I don't know if these guys are already provided, they're just kind of the overall, what we do, the offices that we have around Carolina, just an overall. I mean, it's just something that I like to attach when I make contact and establish these relationships.
Sounds good. If I can help you, I just came off the board. Thank you.